Mayor, if everybody's ready to get started, we have a few minutes still for our board meeting. We have another work session item we're going to talk about tonight, which is our Community Health Council that the Knox County Health Department has been putting together. And as part of that group, the board mayor and aldermen have two selections that they can make from Farragut to be part of that council. It's a 3-year term. One selection is going to be from the mayor and the mayor only, and the other selection is going to be from the aldermen. And since we have 2 aldermen here tonight only, then we're going to need to try to make sure that's a unanimous decision by our 2 aldermen. So anyway, what we wanted to do is have the applicants that are all part of, or wanted to be part of the Community Health Council come tonight and have a few minutes to tell you a little bit about themselves and have the board answer questions or ask questions of them. So I'd ask for our first applicant, Kathleen Douthit. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Ms. Douthit, should you come forward just to the podium and maybe say a few words about yourself and then why you're interested in the Community Health Council, and the board can take it from there.
Okay, thank you. Well, I just want to say that I'm kind of new at this. I've never really been a part of anything in the community, but I just felt like this was such an important issue. I'm a mental health counselor over at Pellissippi State Community College, and I've lived in Knox County for the last 20 years. I've been here in Farragut for the last 13, which I find hard to believe. And I've worked in the community mental health venues. I've worked with Department of Children's Services, and now I've been out with Pellissippi State for, it'll be 7 years in June. So I'm a licensed professional counselor. My specialty is alcohol and drug abuse counseling. I'm licensed in that through the state as well. And I just feel like mental health needs to be a piece of the overall health, community health initiative. So that, I just felt like I had something to give to this, and that's why I decided to do it.
Anybody got any questions for this candidate?
What do you know about the mission of this committee?
Not a huge amount, but I did read about it, and that it was a kind of a collaboration between the city and the county and the town of Farragut, and that it was to kind of promote and maybe make policy regarding health issues. So if there's anything else you can tell me about that, that would be good to know.
Okay, I was hoping you might know more than I do.
Not necessarily.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Our next candidate would be Louise Hovland.
Hi everyone. I'm sorry for the casual attire. I was at the robotics thing at the convention center today, so I was running around queuing up a lot of potential engineers. It was kind of fun. I applied for this. The Health Council is trying to put together a group of people to help assist in making some changes, or help with the health of Knox County. And I'm an owner of Anytime Fitness, and in learning about fitness, I've been concentrating on how to get people that are overweight and obese into the gym. And that's really what we need as a society. We need to get our, the obese and overweight working out. And owning the gym, a lot of people say that for obese people, there's a fear of embarrassment, there's a fear of failure, and there's an intimidation factor. And if we don't start addressing that with people when they're dealing with the doctors, then you're never going to solve this obesity problem, because you can build your sidewalks and we can have a lot of stuff for the community, which is great, and I use them, but you're not going to get this community out to use them, because they need to be in a supportive atmosphere where they're not going to be embarrassed, and they're going to feel like they've got the community and the support. It's an issue that I think has been untapped, as of late, from watching what Knox County has put into place. East Tennessee Two-Step, they put in Tennessee on the Move, and Mountain States Health Alliance, which I'm not sure if that's East Tennessee, but they've put in a lot of things where they're trying to get people moving, and that's great for people that already move. But for people that aren't, or just, they look at that and say, I can't do this walk. I can't walk 10 steps, let alone go for a 5K walk. And we need to start addressing that in a real way. I don't know how you go from making that leap, but it's something that I think needs to be addressed.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any
Thanks.
questions?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Our next candidate is, I don't see Mark Ray here. Okay. Mary Ellen Rita.
Good evening. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here to talk about this. This is a passion of mine. It's been my career. I am an occupational health nurse. I have worked as an occupational health nurse for more than 20 years in the private sector as well as with the federal government. I am currently a regional manager for healthcare programs for a government agency, and we have a huge wellness program for our employees. I manage those programs for my government agency, as well as I am with the development of those programs too. I also worked with AT&T, and I was a disability manager with them, and this was for the Southeast region, which was a 9-state region. And what we did is we did a lot of promotion for healthcare for our employees, saw a lot of things turn around. I could tell you the programs that we've had where people have lost a lot of weight. You know, we used to brag about we lost 750 pounds, meaning that the business unit lost that. And what I find really exciting about this is now, instead of it just being companies, we're talking about the cities, talking to their citizens about health, having a healthy building, healthy campuses, and giving them the opportunity to have this. And we could really, you know, do a great thing here in Farragut in harmony with Knox County and with Knoxville. So I'd really love to be a part of that because I love this community and I think I'm very qualified for it. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, what would you say were your greatest successes with the wellness program that you have at the agency where you're employed?
Well, I just, for 3 years, I wrote the Bloodborne Pathogens program.
The what?
The Bloodborne Pathogens program, which is an OSHA program, and what it was training and teaching the employees about bloodborne pathogens and how to stay safe. And that was put on what we call our virtual academy, which is a computer program, and that was for the entire government agency. So I was the author of that. Currently, we are trying to promote more physical activities, more consciousness about your diet and different things like that. So I'm very involved with that with my company or with my government agency that I work for. So I think I'm very, very proud of the Bloodborne Pathogens program because that's the most recent. It was the biggest thing I've ever done, and it was very successful.
Great. Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions?
Did you name the government agency you were
I-
talking about?
I would prefer not to.
Okay. Any other discussion? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I think each of you had maybe had a chance to talk to Debbie Pinchot. She was unable to make it to the meeting tonight, but she did, I know, express a lot of interest in this as well. And you may have had a chance to talk to her in the past week via phone or meet face to face with her. And again, Mark Ray, I'm not sure about Mr. Ray, but
He can't be here,
okay,
but I did talk to him.
okay, thank you. All right, well, this will be our one of our agenda items here in just a few minutes. So with that, I don't have anything else for the workshop tonight. We can adjourn that in a few minutes before our 7 o'clock meeting. If the board has anything else they'd like to bring up at this time.
Okay, you got 6 minutes to take a break.
I believe you're a neighbor, right, in Sugarwood?
Yes, ma'am.
Ralph and I both live in Sugarwood.
Yes, I know that, yes.
I'm sorry that I didn't recognize your name.
Oh.
Yeah. That place to live. I want you right up front. It's like we gotta come to Scouts.
Thank you. Goodness gracious. Thank you. Thank you.
Make sure everybody put their eyes open and they're smiling. And I think we're good to go on that, but thank you.
Very much. Nice meeting you too.
Just because if we had a
For what it's worth, I'm from Sugarwood too.
I think probably.
If you walk by my house, I'm Dixie's over. Just know the dog.
It's a nice-
guess
nice,
it's-
yeah, it's a
Technically,
nice
you can,
neighborhood.
since you have two folks, you have one for selection, and one also for the personal element selection. If y'all need to break the time, let's do that.
Get rid of Grace. Grace was really cool.
That's traumatic.
No, it tore Kim.
I mean, I think,
And everybody.
it's great, so one of the issues is they're starting.
Yeah, we didn't keep her.
So they're.
Chop collar or anything.
Don't make selections. They're just the first meeting, and then
Once she got rid of her, she was ancient.
If you need to bear the break, y'all search selection. Y'all can talk about.
Yeah. Well, she's like, no, she made it almost easily back, I'm pretty sure. She went down just about the time she pulled it. Yeah, yeah. What did you do? What did I do? I can't get from Was it Carlos? No. do have Boy Scout here working on an eagle, I bet, right? When we have the Pledge of Allegiance, would you like to come down and lead us in it? Is that a yes?
We promise to cooperate.
You have to disagree about something tonight, that's part of citizenship and community merit badge.
I was thinking, should I disagree with that?
This
That's
is
an
gonna be
easy
fun.
one.
So you guys have to disagree, because you have to comment on it for merit badge.
This will be probably a short meeting, and so you might have to come back for a refresher. Anyway, it is 7 o'clock, and this is the March 28, 2013 Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting. And we will start by rising for a moment of silent prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item is approval of the agenda, which is, as I mentioned, fairly short. So shall we just approve it?
Motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We do have a quorum, but just barely, so we can do business tonight. Next item is mayor's report. And I don't think I have anything to report. Anybody else have anything?
Where's the warm weather and spring?
That's a question, it's not a report.
And the dogwood is supposed to be blooming, hopefully in the next 2 weeks.
All right, we'll move to the next item, which is citizens forum. Do we have anybody?
Yes, sir. We have Jolene Duval
All right,
from, she wants to comment on the Everett Road project.
all right. Come to the microphone and state your name and address.
Good evening, my name is Jolene Dewald. My address is 626 Brochard Boulevard, Farragut. And I'm the president of the Homeowners Association for Fox Run. First of all, I just want to go ahead and compliment the engineering department. We called a week and a half ago about a street sign, and they came out yesterday, and I got 3 emails letting me know when it was going to be done and when they were coming, and came out and it's up and good. It's on the wrong side of the street, but
It's on the wrong side of the street?
it's my understanding when you come up the street sign should be before you make the corner.
We'll look at it.
But all the communication was great, and the woman who answered the phone, that was great. The only other thing I just want to ask is when you are starting to work on the capital improvements, which I understand you'll be talking again in 2 weeks, is that you really consider Everett Road. I know people have been really harping on it, but for the residents who live in our neighborhood, that road gets scarier and scarier every time it rains. And I know today they had some folks out there working on the bridge, but when school starts getting out and the kids are going back and forth to Turkey Creek, I really hope that you pay attention to the condition of the road, and that we can really try to get some improvements in the capital improvement for next year, because I understand it fell off the radar from 2011. There was money in the budget, and according to my research, it kind of fell off. And the other question I just would like to have addressed is I'd like to have more information on something called the corridor row. I was told by Mr. Honkin that was something that was being suggested about helping to fund the road. So I'd like to get a little more information on that.
Well, when we do have the CIP discussion, why don't you show up and state your case again?
Okay, thank you.
Approval of minutes from the last meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
That brings us to business items, and first one is appointment to the Community Health Council. How do you want to handle it?
Well, Mayor, tonight, as you know, the board mayor and alderman are allowed one selection to the Community Health Council, and the mayor is allowed one selection on his own to the Community Health Council. And that's the same for Knox County and for the city of Knoxville. So we have on the candidates that were filled applications, we have 5 applicants for these 2 positions.
All right.
Well, I wish we could appoint all 5 of you. And it's really difficult to make the decision, believe, because I think all 5 of you are very well qualified to represent Farragut on this council. And I'd really rather not do this, but as my job, I have to do it.
Well, I do want to state it's a wonderful problem to have, that we have this many qualified applicants stepping up to volunteer to serve the community, and that means a lot. We appreciate all of you. And it's going to be a tough decision.
Well, I'll go first, and I'm appointing Debbie Pinchuk. Had a long talk with her, and she is very well qualified. And I think she will represent us very well. So, your turn.
Golly, no.
This is awkward for us.
I know, it's very awkward. Well, as a registered nurse myself, retired, I've tried to look at all of them fairly and everything, and I'm sort of leaning toward Kathleen. I'm not sure how to pronounce your last, do that.
Stepping out for the
She did, okay.
Well, I guess we're going to have a problem, because my vote goes for Dr. Mark Ray, who's quite a renowned surgeon, a very vigorous and active man who has has the interests of the community and the political process in mind. I know him personally and feel that he's very qualified, and not to take anything away from any of our other very qualified applicants, but my vote would go for Dr. Ray, would be my first choice.
I don't want to have to break a tie.
Well, we could move to defer this until we have a full quorum, but have the other alderman present, but there is the consideration that I understand the first meeting of this committee is going to be when?
Monday.
Monday.
next week, is that right?
It sounds like it's fine. I think they're set for Thursday mornings, if I'm not mistaken.
So it'll be next Thursday?
I can't say that for 100% sure.
But we don't
I don't
meet
have that.
again.
It'd be before your next meeting.
Yeah.
They would, I think, that's some of the feedback I was getting from some of the staff, just to figure out when we needed to make a decision on this item. So they were shooting for April 1st, I think.
And these appointees serve for 3 years?
That's my understanding, yes, ma'am.
Can you give me any more information on Dr. Ray? I know that we had just the information we had in here on him. What kind of physician is he?
He's a head and neck surgeon, And I know he travels, he's well known in his profession. He travels all over the world performing cleft palate surgeries in third world countries on his own time. Very civic-minded gentleman, very capable, and also a very healthy and fit individual, and his family reflects that. He's a pretty likable guy too.
Either you are gonna have to change or I'm gonna have to change, because we need it. So, may I change my vote then to Dr. Ray?
Is that your final answer?
Yes, yes. But I personally want to thank all the people that are here that have applied for this position, and I hope that you will return in 3 years and apply again, because.
Or if anything should happen,
Yeah,
to our,
absolutely.
either of our appointees.
And I think it's so important that you have the desire to want to come and work with our town and be a part of this community health council. Because I think it's really important that we get, that cities and towns, I actually am working on a committee in DC, in the National League of Cities, and this is what we're looking at, community health and obesity and all of this other stuff. So it means a lot to me, and I really appreciate your interest.
So do I, 'cause this is very important to me too, and we just, it's kind of overwhelming to have this many qualified and able and willing volunteers. We're very disappointed we can't appoint everybody. It's not, it's, as I said, it's a great problem to have. We thank you so much.
I will echo all those comments. And should we have a vacancy, you're all going to be considered for refilling it. So the next item is Resolution R-2013-03. Resolution requesting that the town of, that the Tennessee Department of Transportation designate the intersection of Highway 70 South R1 and Highway 11 South R2 Dixie Lee Junction as a signature or gateway intersection, and to incorporate aesthetic improvements in the proposed redesign of this intersection. Do you want to explain all that?
Yes, sir, I can definitely do that. We've been talking to Loudoun County now for quite some time about this intersection. It's been on the Transportation Planning Organization's projects list for a number of years, and I think it's finally starting to get off the ground. And what the Loudoun County is wanting to do is, since this is a gateway both to Loudoun County and to the town of Farragut, is to try to make this a beautification corridor where it would be a TDOT project, and because there's two state routes that are coming together. But in order to get a little additional funding for landscaping and things like that, we're just requesting this to TDOT as a part of their consideration when granting the money for this project.
And explain what a signature intersection is.
Again, it's really additional landscaping. I think that many projects are just the basic road, sidewalk, curb, gutter, whatever the requirements are. This would actually take into account more of a landscaping feature, could include some signage, things like that as well. So whatever the design winds up being, it'll just, I think, be a prettier intersection than a typical roadway intersection would be.
And just so you all understand, that if you go down there, you realize that is a little bit of a problem intersection. And so that's going to be taken care of with this whole process. And we just want to make sure it's done very nicely.
This is actually outside the town of Farragut, isn't it?
I think technically it is, but we do have some property. If you look at your map, there's actually two pieces of property that are in the city limits of Farragut, but are actually in Loudoun County. And so depending on how this project tapers in and out of that area, it could be in the town limits that it does operate in. But again, we haven't seen the designs yet, so we don't know exactly how that's all gonna work.
And how we work our signage in that we've approved and designed and whatnot, we'll certainly want to incorporate that, which, would that be problematic, putting our welcome to Farragut sign at the intersection if it was actually not in the town? Is that something we can negotiate with the, with TDOT and Loudoun County?
Well, we've actually been working and trying to get TDOT approval on a site already that is in the Farragut town limits, so I don't think that this project would interfere with that, because that section of Kingston Pike is already, I think, widened where it needs to be in front of the Blackwell Bank that's down there. So I think we'd be okay with going ahead and putting the sign up, and it shouldn't have any impact with this project, I hope. If it does, then we'd certainly move it for the time being and put it back up.
Okay. I was hoping it was something that we could incorporate with the landscaping and whatever other improvements are going to be made there, that we can coordinate closely with them and make something.
And if we can, and certainly we will, if we can do one sign going one direction and they Loudoun County going the other direction, then great.
Yeah. Or maybe do something to be better for both of us than if we try to do our own thing separately.
Okay, this is a resolution, and I have a copy here somewhere, but do I need to read it?
I've read it. You read it.
Are you ready to vote then?
I'm ready to make a motion that we approve the resolution.
I'll accept it. I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next item then is approval of proposal for landscape and engineering services for outdoor classroom on Campbell Station Road.
Yes, excuse me, in your packets was a proposal from McGill Associates for the design and engineering services for the outdoor classroom project. You'll recall this is a project that's been on our horizon for the last couple of years. Excuse me. The intent is to create an area for educational purposes that would highlight best management practices in terms of water quality. And the location for this, of course, would be on our property that is along Campbell Station Road near the high school entrance. It will have several elements. What you have in your packet there was just an earlier concept, but several of the elements will be, they want to focus on habitat and stream buffer, water tolerant plants, rain gardens, bioswales, that sort of thing. Be a very good educational tool for the Farragut schools as well as the community as a whole. This proposal has a lump sum fee for $31,350. Staff recommends approval.
So this is sort of just the landscaping, right? We're not talking about building yet.
This will create, part of this will be the creation of final construction drawings so that we will be able to bid the thing out in July.
Okay.
There will be some engineering involved as well because along the Campbell Station frontage of this property, we want to create kind of a more manicured facade. And an outdoor classroom looks great, but it's not going to have quite the aesthetic benefit that you might have in mind. So we want to have a more manicured buffer there along the roadway. So that may include some moguls or just, we're looking at their concepts. We'll be making some choices along the way.
Do we know what the cost of the construction of the school building will be? I'm sure we've heard it, haven't we?
I think we have, well, we have $100,000 budgeted this year. Of course, that's not quite enough to do it, but we're probably in the $150,000 range.
That's for the whole project,
For
correct?
for the whole construction of the whole project, that's correct.
Well, I think it's gonna be a great asset for our town and for the high school.
Who prepared this drawing?
Jason Scott is our water quality, or stormwater coordinator.
Did we have any other bids for this project?
We we accepted proposals from, I think it was 5 different firms. We sat around the table and discussed the qualifications of each. We're very pleased with the background that McGill Associates presented in their proposal. In fact, they were the designers for the Halls outdoor classroom, which is a similar project to this one. I don't know if you've been over there or not, but it's quite an addition to that community over there. We're very proud of.
I should point out that I have no relationship with McGill.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with these guys. Where are they from?
They are local, and I think they do a lot of work over in North Carolina as well.
Does anyone have pictures of the classroom and halls? I would love to see it.
I don't have
Had
them.
a chance to go to see it.
I don't have them tonight, but I can forward some on.
Oh, that would be great.
It just seems, pardon me, but we're talking about a project that's gonna be, what do we anticipate the complete cost of this project would be? The, not the design, but the project itself.
I think that was in the range of about 150 to 175, something like that.
Yeah, so we're spending $31,000 to design something that's only gonna cost $150,000, and the design's already done. I mean, we already have the basic layout of it. It's just, I'm not, I can't get excited about it.
Well, as I said, one element that we want to make sure we get right is that the thing looks good from Campbell Station Road. I don't know that we have anyone on our staff that would quite have the eye of a landscape architect to create that facade, because it needs to be done from a driver's viewpoint, as far as the driver's perspective. We definitely, in my opinion, we definitely need a professional to do this design.
Mr. Smith, can you explain to the board kind of what the differences would be between what, if we did it in-house per se, versus having a professional firm do it for us? Is the main thing the landscaping aspect, or I know they're going to be drawing up plans and things like that as well?
Well, the drawing of plans, specifications, getting the plantings right, the soil mixes, there are a lot of things like the bioswales and the planters that we want. We really don't have the right knowledge to make that work. I would much prefer to have a professional tell us how to get it right, especially if we're going to tout it to our developers and use it as a kind of a showcase over the schools for educational purposes. I want to make sure that it's done correctly.
We do have also a $10,000 grant that we received from the state of Tennessee.
That's correct. I pointed that out in my memo. It's a $10,000 grant, it's a 319H grant from the Department of Agriculture. Every penny counts, but
All right, so
Well, I would be in favor of this approval of this proposal, and I'd like to make a motion that we do approve it tonight from McGill Associates for its design services for $31,350.
Well, I'll second that so we can bring it to a vote.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
All right. How about?
need a quorum of those present.
So this is, there's us, right?
So you have a quorum you have to have a quorum to do business, and then from the quorum, it's whoever's present and voting.
All right. Take your word for it. All right, so, what was I? Town administrator.
Just two things tonight, Mayor. One is, we have our volunteer and committee banquet next Friday night at Fox Den. That's gonna be at 6 p.m., April 5th. And that's our annual banquet that we do to thank our volunteers for all the hard work that they do throughout the year. Also,
Excuse me, I think it's at 7.
okay, that's correct, 7 p.m. for that. I think the dinner starts at 7:30, so get there at 7 so you can get a seat. Dogwood Luncheon is Wednesday, April 10th. We're the feature trail for the Dogwood Arts Festival this year in Farragut, and so we'll be having the luncheon at 11:30 a.m. on Wednesday, April 10th at Campbell Station Park. Also, for the board members, you're invited to the ribbon cutting for the Dogwood Arts Festival, and that's going to be held in front of the Fox Den main entrance on Kingston Pike, and that'll be at 11 a.m. on Wednesday, April 10th. I'll give you more details and make sure you have that in the next week, so you can plan accordingly if you can be there. And that's all I have tonight, Mayor.
All right, and we have no attorneys, so we